Welcome back to Great Lakes Junction, everyone. So we're finally getting to a job that's been on our list for some time. We need to put Evestroughs on this sunroom that we had built. We built this a few years ago, and on the bottom, if it'll show up from here a little bit, so we just did a 1/4 inch plywood, and I thought painting it would protect it enough from the elements, but without the eave trough, it's been splashing up from that patio, and you can see where it's all rotting away there on the bottom. So before we try and fix that and replace all that wood, we need to stop the water problem. So we've decided to do two things at once. We're going to put this eave trough on, but we're going to do it in such a way that we can move our rain barrel over from the garden shed to the back far corner of this thing. We can collect far more water off of this than we can off the garden shed. We're only using one side of the garden shed because the other side's covered by trees quite a bit. And with the lack of rain that we've been getting lately, where it's just not cutting it, it's not giving us enough in our barrel to help out with the garden at all. So this is a much larger surface. We're going to catch water from both sides once we get these eave troughs rigged up the right way, and we'll move the rain barrel over and reattach everything on this. Going to have to figure out how to do some of it. When I went to the hardware store yesterday for the materials, apparently they don't sell 90-degree elbows anymore. All they sell is 45s. And I really did want a couple of 90s for this project. So we'll have to make do with the 45s and figure out how to make them work. So we've just crimped those end caps on there. And it's not real tight. I don't know if the water would have enough force to push that off. Maybe what I'll do is just drill a hole through that flange and just pop a rivet in there, or a screw or something like that in there, just to make sure it's not going to pop off. Always a bit of a challenge trying to figure out by yourself how to hold something up sometimes when you're trying to figure out angles and attaching things. So I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work. We'll see if a hammer with a bungee cord on it's heavy enough to lay on the roof and just hold that eave trough up there so I can move around and do stuff. £3 hammer wasn't heavy enough. We'll try 10. Hopefully this isn't too dark, just to give you an idea of how I'm trying to figure out where this downspout goes on this corner, because of the nature of what I'm trying to do. So the idea is to have a downspout come out this end, attach a drain pipe to it or a downspout pipe to it, but I'm going to run it across the back of the sunroom, and then when I get the eave trough done on the other side, tie the two of them together so there's only one point of water flow into the rain barrel. So if I want to run my drain pipe, and this is where I wish I had a 90-degree elbow to go up here, so I could just angle the pipe down just slightly, because it doesn't have to be a steep run. But all I could get is the 45. Now they give you, this is all they seem to sell, or that's all they had in stock. So the idea is to cut a hole where you need it for this elbow. This drops through from the top, acts as a bit of a guard to stop leaves from coming down, and this portion would stick through, that would slide into your pipe, and you can put a couple screws in to attach your pipe to that, and none of it can fall apart once it's together. So what I'm trying to do here is figure out just where I want this hole so that my pipe is even running across the back of the sunroom. So I think if I use a big square, and I line up this side of the square with the back of the wall, I think that'll give me a good idea where I need to be. I've got a piece of trim, I don't know if you can see it from there, that runs along, and it covered the edge of this piece of wood, and I did it across the back too, but I'm thinking nobody ever sees this back here, so I'm likely going to end up removing that piece of trim so that the pipe can stay tight to the wall. Now my tin snips that I have are not the right tin snips to be making straight cuts like this. So I've got a hacksaw blade in my jigsaw. So I'll drill a pilot hole for that blade to fit in, and then I'll use my jigsaw to cut it out instead. Not the best system. I'm not real happy with how the system goes together, but I suppose it will work. Well, we seem to have disturbed some wasps up around that very corner there. They must have a nest inside a crack in the wood or something there, because they're not real happy now. Maybe I've covered it up with the eave trough. Hopefully they'll leave me alone while I'm working. Okay, I'm not sure where we left off. I had to go charge the phone, so I kept working while it was charging. So we've got the elbow there, and the pipe runs across the back of this sunroom to the other side. I'll go around there and show you what we ended up with. So same thing, putting the eave troughs on so that they drain down in this back corner. So there's where the 45s are meant to be. So they come down on a 45, short piece of pipe, another 45, get you straight to come down the post or down your wall. So that seems to be all they sell now. This is where I really wanted a 90-degree corner. I wanted to come around here nicely so the water would dump onto this screen filter here to catch any large debris. So I've cut the end of this on an angle, so hopefully the water will still dump okay out here. This is not what I intended at all back here, but we're hoping it'll work. I've just cut up some pieces of eave trough material screwed it on here and bent it so that it deflects the water out this way. This barrel was set up like this, and it worked really well over on the shed where there was a lot of leaves and stuff. This worked really well. It's not really the setup that it should be over here for the way this operates, but hopefully it'll work for now. They are calling for 90% chance of rain in a couple of days, and we'll find out. Well, we let it go to our couple of days that they were forecasting the rain, and we did get it. Unfortunately, it only lasted about 30 minutes, and it was a very light rain. So everything worked as far as the water running the way it should and collecting in the barrel, but we only collected about 5 gallons in that half hour, which isn't bad. It was a light rain, as I said. So even at that, it's a 50-gallon drum, so that's 10 hours of a light rain. If we had had a nice heavy thunderstorm, just a matter of a few hours would have filled this barrel up. So I'm happy that way. So I think we're going to call it done for now. I think our ultimate solution to our rain problem here, that's the shed that it was on before back there, and you can see the trees, how they cover the backside. I think my ultimate solution is going to be to really trim those trees up so that entire roof can collect water, and we'll get one of those 1,000-liter totes and put it back there at the end in the shade behind the trees, and we'll plumb everything into that. And then the rainy season starts here at the beginning of April or mid-April. Hopefully we can catch enough rain to fill that one up and carry us through these dry spells that we seem to be getting more and more of. Just like everywhere else, the climate seems to be changing here too. Our summers have been getting drier and hotter for sure. And we're definitely needing more water to assist with the garden rather than paying for the city water. So I think that's going to become our solution in the end. So we're going to wrap this video up here. Once again, thank you very much for watching.